Daniel here for Tabletop for Tuesdays. Please join me at the table as I unbox 2040, an American Insurgency. And I thank you for joining me for this unboxing of 2040, an American Insurgency. Now, this is published by Compass Games. I actually hadn't previously owned any Compass games. I received this as a review copy. I believe it's a pre-production copy. And so 2040, an American Insurgency is designed by Edward Castranova. And it says, April 2040, the president, now in her third term, announces a major government effort to crack down on trouble in the countryside. The newly formed Federal Security Agency sends a convoy of agents into Kentucky backcountry to seize a cache of stockpiled assault rifles. But when the convoy approaches Lexington, it encounters a roadblock. Pickup trucks filled with armed civilians sit astride the roadway. Determined to push through, the agent in command orders his convoy to stop and deploy. Agents take cover behind the SUVs. Angry shouts are exchanged. Tensions rises. Then someone, no one knows who, fires a shot. Both sides open up. People fall. The Second American Civil War has begun. All right, so it says that 2040, an American Insurgency simulates a civil war in the United States in the mid-21st century. It uses mechanics that will be familiar to players of coin-style games. It adds new mechanics to deal with internet and social media. And driven by these new communication technologies, the conflict provides interesting challenges and opportunities for both sides. Now note, this game is not about American politics. It does not take a side in any argument. The game's only goal is to provide mechanics wherein a rebel faction may fight against a federal faction in 21st century America. Following standard wargaming practice, the government is blue, the rebels are red. No connection to current political colors is intended. The game does provide two scenarios, one involving a revolution in rural areas against urban areas, and the other involving cities rebelling against the countryside. Players may make of this what they will. Alright, I'm glad no sides are taken. We don't need to bring politics into something like this. By the way, toss me a like and subscribe if you like my channel here and like to see more. Alright, so we've got the rule book here. With a table of contents here. We've got the overview, how to win. There's a domination victory, which involves gaining 35 victory points. There's an endurance victory, where the cards run out and the player with the most victory points wins. And there's a military victory. If either player has no pieces on the board, the opponent wins instantly. There's a list of components here. Sequence of play. How event cards work. Then we have story cards, a map board, and explains the details of the map, like interstates, tracks, and other things. It's continued explanation of the map here, game pieces, how the news works, cycling the news and rebellion power, other effects of rebellion power track. Then there's operations. So it lists all the different operations here and how they work. Internet operations, social media operations, unrest, recruiting, fundraising, moving, attacking, surging, and more. There's a whole lot about the operations and how they work. Then the design credits down here, and here's the example of play. So we have the map laid out here. It looks quite nice. There's also a separate paper where you place these cards here for the news cycle display. Further examples of play, examples of the news cycle and its effects, more examples. And then back here, it has the scenarios. So it tells you the hashtag Patriot scenario, the hashtag Resistance scenario, and a way that you can build your own scenario. Alright, so we have a couple of decks of cards we'll check out in a minute. Here's the news cycle cards, I believe. A D20 and a D6. And then we have a counter sheet here. I'll open these up in a moment and check that out. Alright, so here's the news cycle display. It's on nice cardstock. Here's a player aid for each player. It's got federal operations on one side and rebel operations on the other side for ease of reference. And then we got a nice big board here. Oh my goodness, this board is absolutely huge. Check this out. Wow, it is an 8-fold board. Wow, that is quite the board here. Can't help but wonder if it's slightly too big for what we're doing here, but I mean, it's got great table presence. I love how it looks. Everything looks clearly marked. The colors look fairly good. Yeah. Alright, so we have 2 sheets of counters here. Sheet 2 of 2s right here. We'll see how these pop out here. So the whole row comes out. They're slightly off center there. Nothing horrible. But it does have the little paper tags on the end. So I think I'll have to go through and clip these a bit. But other than that, I like the feel of them. They're not overly glossy. And they've got good colors. These look nice as well. Okay, and so we have some of the news cycle cards here. Looks like they all say the same thing on the back, and then it has different effects on the front here. It'll be interesting to see how these interact with the board. Government base overrun, arrests lead to protest, actress criticizes rebellion, lost dog returned, peace agreement shattered, athlete condemns government, agents fire on family gathering, consumer confidence rises, business investment down, job creation stall, unemployment rises, economy enters recession, new game released, and more. So there's a lot of different things, and they're going to affect the game state. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Alright, so we have a huge stack of about 92 cards apparently of events. And this is where each player is going to be drawing from here. And so the blue are the federal cards, and then the gray ones are neutral cards, and then the red ones are the rebel cards. And so this will be some card-driven gameplay here. So armored police vehicles, cop tanks beat back riots, remove 1 unrest from a city center. There's some stats here that are going to come into play, obviously. General George S. Patton VII, decisive leadership, place 6 agents anywhere. Interrogation, rumors of dark prisons. In one space with agents and militias, remove 1 militia and place a fear marker. Spaces with order and fear can only be brought out of order by an event card mechanic. Operations mechanics have no effect on the space status. This has momentum. I'm not sure what that refers to. But obviously, these are things to take into consideration when playing. Here's a neutral card, open borders, free movement of labor and capital. Both sides move freely between Canada, Mexico, and the US. If federal play, tax adds an additional $4 a resource per space. If rebel plays, recruit adds an additional 1 militia per space. So these neutral cards can have different effects depending on who plays them. And then here's an example of a rebel card. Habeas corpus. Courts enforce due process. When moving via interstate, rebels lose militia only in spaces with 2 agents, not 1. This also has a symbol down here. I guess that's a rebel symbol. So these must be card numbers here on the side, referring to specific cards. And there's quite a few of them here. Now the card stock is nice and thick. The art on the actual cards here, there isn't obviously much. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I like the fact that the colors are clear, and I like how there are symbols for federal and for rebel. So I think functionality is going to win out here, and that'll be important. But we'll have to see when it plays out. All right, and so this has been an unboxing of 2040 in American Insurgency. I will be doing a 2-player playthrough in the future. This is soloable, but there are no solo rules in the game as far as I can see. So you would have to play both sides, which is not an uncommon thing for a war game. Nevertheless, I will be doing the 2-player playthrough, so keep an eye out for that on 2-Player Tuesdays. Feel free to ask me any questions about the game in the comments below. And I thank you very much for watching Tabletop for Tuesdays. Have a great night.